Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, and today I deliver some devastatingly bad news for Democrats. In other words, good news for you. Kind of building on the previous video that I made that went pretty viral for some reason. This one, nearly 700,000 views, I got some good news for you. Never really titled a video like that, but it seemed to work out great, so I'll do it again. And guess what? That last video, the title was accurate. I did have some good news for you. This time, I have some amazing news for you, because it seems as though the entire Democrat strategy heading into the next election is already starting to fail, and fail spectacularly. Folks, we've seen the polling data. Donald Trump is winning. Donald Trump is winning in every single state that it matters. In many polls, he's winning in the popular vote, which is unprecedented and historic. He's just trouncing Joe Biden right now in every metric that you could possibly imagine, except for maybe abortion, or on the issue of abortion. He's winning. And the only saving grace that Democrats have is like one or two polls that we've seen from a couple left-wing outlets suggesting that if Donald Trump was found guilty, if Donald Trump was a convicted felon, convicted by the courts ahead of the election, then they wouldn't vote for him, then Joe Biden would win. And so obviously Democrats saw that poll and they've delved into that as their number one strategy. That is our claim to fame. That's going to be our key to success, to make sure that Donald Trump is branded a criminal before the next election cycle. Well, for that to happen, they would need to expedite these cases, and specifically these cases in the most corrupt of court districts. And in that case, there's only two possible options for them. The first is the January 6th case that's happening in Washington, D.C. that they're currently attempting to expedite. That, however, happens to be the one case with the least amount of merit, and I don't even think they're going to be able to expedite it at the speed that they want to. So there's that one. And then, of course, there's the Fulton County, Georgia case with Fani Willis. And that seems to be their favorite case of all. The fake elector scheme. Every single time you hear any left-wing talking head speaking about Trump criminality, that's the default that they go to. Ma elector's scheme. Well, it seems as though their golden chalice of a case, their fake elector scheme trial backup plan, just fell flat on its face as Fani Willis now tells the public, to the dismay and outrage of every vote blue no matter who blue ain't on Twitter freak, that most likely the trials are going to take months upon months, and even Fani Willis doesn't expect her case to wrap up until after the 2024 election in late 2025. Folks, this is devastating news for the Twitter leftist hive mind. Let's take a look at their live reaction. Oh, they're really not happy about this one. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, the headline pretty much says it all. This is the worst news that leftists could have received this month. Fulton County DA Willis believes the Trump trial will extend beyond the 2024 election. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis said earlier this week that former President Donald Trump's racketeering trial could stretch beyond the 2024 election and into early 2025. I believe in that case, there will be a trial. I believe that trial will take many months, Willis said during an interview Tuesday at the Washington Post's Live Global Women's Summit. And I don't expect that we will conclude until the winter or very early part of 2025. The trial's start date has yet to be announced. Trump was charged along with 18 other co-defendants, 4 of whom have already accepted plea deals. Trump's legal teams have been attempting to push his various trials in New York, Washington, D.C., Florida, and Georgia beyond the 2024 election. In her remarks this week, however, Willis said the presidential election had no bearing on her decision to charge the man who is, by far, the leading GOP candidate for the nomination. Give me a break, but let's just take this Soros-funded DA by her word. She charged him based on the merits of the case, while completely ignoring the rise in crime in her city. Actual murder trials. She could have brought a massive racketeering case against criminal organizations in Atlanta. No, instead, she pursues the future Republican nominee and former president of the United States on the most bogus RICO charge of all time. Definitely not political. But anyways, let's take her at her word. At this point, none of it really matters. She's told us everything we need to hear. The trial will not end before Election Day. That means this attempted election interference scam has failed. That means that the likely scenario at this point is that Donald Trump will be able to campaign and that most likely the 2024 election will wrap up. A president will be selected before the cases are finished, and if Donald Trump wins, which he's currently on pace to do, he could instantly pardon himself. He has presidential immunity immunity, it's over, done and dusted. All these cases go away instantaneously. We go from Donald Trump is definitely going to jail this time to Donald Trump is definitely your president this time, once again. Oh, it's good news, folks. It's good news. It's nothing but good news. Now we're just waiting for the judge on the January 6 case to basically admit the same, that the trials will take forever and that there's no way they could wrap up the case ahead of the presidential election. This should essentially be the standard across the board if Donald Trump is being treated fairly like any other American citizen in all of these cases, getting hit with 4 different indictments from various different entities, with millions upon millions of documents involved. The discovery process, questioning, yada yada yada, gathering witnesses, the amount of work that his legal team has to do ahead of all of these cases to prepare effectively for Donald Trump to have the ability to defend himself or to mount a defense like any American citizen has the right to. There is no way a 2024 deadline can be met in any of these cases. And if that decision is made in one case, which it seems like it already is in the Southern Florida district, or I think actually it was a Central Florida district, I think that trial is happening close to Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, doesn't really matter. Point is, if Judge Aileen Cannon is making that decision that he needs more time, or rather that he has the right to more time to prepare a legitimate defense, then that should apply to every single case. And then it's worst case scenario for the Democrats. It's absolute worst case scenario, because if they can't brand Donald Trump as a convicted criminal, they are in serious, serious trouble. You know, the numbers keep coming out. We just got a Morning Consult poll showing Donald Trump leading in pretty much every single swing state. We got some polls showing Trump leading in 6 out of 7 swing states and 5 out of 6 swing states. And then we got some polls showing Trump leading in every single swing state, in some cases in 8 swing states. You know, he is winning across the board. We just got this Quinnipiac poll, which is absolutely shocking. Quinnipiac historically has been the Biden poll. They haven't shown a Trump victory in the history of their poll, and I literally mean that, except for today, 2024 general election. For the first time in Quinnipiac polling history, Trump is ahead of Biden. Look at that leapfrog from July to now. Trump is up to at 48 to 46 in the popular vote segment of the poll, and that's for the first time in Quinnipiac polling history. You know, that ought to mean something. Another poll that hasn't exactly been too favorable to Donald Trump as well, YouGov/Yahoo. Again, Donald Trump is leading, and that's with them polling 6% more Democrats than Republicans. Biden voters are done with Joe Biden. Here's one Biden voter being asked on CNN.
Are you happy with your vote for Joe Biden?
Well, I didn't see something like really change. And I didn't see changes. Right now, I work in 3 jobs because I have to pay more things. Like my house is more expensive.
That's pretty much the general sentiment that I think we've been observing as of late. Even Democrats don't want Joe, but Joe refuses to admit that.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 city.
Read the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
Joe Biden is being fed bogus polls that are not even relevant. That poll that he cited, by the way, the question that was asked was, if Joe Biden was the nominee, would you support him? In other words, if you're left with no choice as a Democrat, would you vote for Joe Biden to stop the evil orange man? Of course, every Democrat's going to say yes. But in polls where Democrats are asked, should Joe Biden run, the majority, unanimously across all polls, state that Joe Biden should not run. Yet he doesn't seem to get the message that even his own voters don't want him. The headlines continue to get worse, by the way. Biden is losing Black Americans ahead of 2024, with just 49% of Black respondents saying that they would definitely cast their ballot for Biden, an all-time low. And one of the last Hail Mary plans from Democrats to stop Donald Trump has also failed, as a Michigan judge just rejected their attempt to prevent Trump from appearing on the 2024 ballot. They're trying everything. They want to indict him. They want to charge him before the election. Doesn't seem like it's going to work. The cases are falling apart. Their witnesses that are supposedly flipping on Donald Trump aren't exactly flipping on Donald Trump. We've covered that previously. The cases are not going to wrap up ahead of election. Trump is skyrocketing in the polls. Joe Biden is losing his core voter base. He's losing Hispanics. He's losing Black voters, losing young voters. And their attempt to remove Donald Trump from the ballot in some key swing states is failing each and every time. In other words, a non-stop flurry of bad news for Democrats. In other words, fantastic news.
I see. Good news, everyone!
Fantastic news. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.